Hey, welcome to Side Hustle Heroes HQ, podcast number 19. Andrew, we are doing it.
We're doing what?
We're doing it, man. Right here we are. We're doing podcast 19. We've almost made it to 20. We're about to beat the odds because 90 something percent of stats are made up and 90 something percent of people do not make it past podcast 20, but we are doing it.
That's awesome. And let's do it.
Hey, we've got a lot to cover today. Let's just jump into it. We've got some news that we're going to, I think we've alluded to in the past, but there's some new stuff that's coming up that is going to be time sensitive. So, Andrew, why don't you tell everybody what's getting ready to happen next week with us? What's new?
Oh, yeah. So we haven't been invited to do a virtual seminar as part of a larger kind of fourth quarter kind of conference getting into the holidays. And it's going to be Thursday, 5 p.m. Central Time. And I'll put more information in the show notes. This is through the Proven Amazon Conference. It's called PAC. Jim Cochran is over all that. So he's invited us to speak. So we'll be talking about all things Amazon influencer, kind of boiling down all the stuff that we've talked about in our podcast. And it's really going to be more of an intro. So we're not going to get really in depth, to be honest with you, but there'll probably be some things you may not have heard before. And it's all in one place as well. It's the latest and greatest as well. So the goal here is to get on here and just talk about what's appealing about it, what's been going on lately. And then probably, we don't know for sure, but there's likely going to be a course that comes out, a full course early next year. So we're really excited. This is going to be through PAC. It's Proven Amazon course. If you're a member of it, awesome. If not, it's definitely worth checking out. We'll have a link for you to check it out. The seminar is not very expensive, whether you're a member of PAC or not. Looking forward to seeing you there if you're interested in joining us.
So PAC is an acronym for Proven Amazon Course. So
Correct.
It is really mostly centered around the Fulfilled by Amazon FBA program. And if you have some interest in that, you'd have access to all of that. So if you're curious about it, you're curious about this program, if you want a little sneak peek of what the course is going to look like, it's going to be sort of an intro to that. So please, support us. Come check it out. We'd love to have you there. We'd love for you to see us there. So, what else are we going to be doing today? We got Jessica on the program for tonight. Very excited about that. Jessica is a friend of a friend, and I don't really know a whole lot about her, so we're getting ready to learn a bunch. She is in the program, and I've seen some of her TikToks. She does some very professional, high-level stuff. We are going to do the interview with her. Of course, we're going to go over our numbers, and I've got a little story that I want to tell. And Andrew, you think it's too soon to jump into that, or you want to hit right into the numbers first?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about, I'm trying to think what else we have on here. Yeah, let's do our numbers. Then you can talk about your thing, and if we have some time, I might mention something about TikTok. So
okay. Oh yeah.
Let's do our numbers now, and then Jessica will be joining us. If you're wanting to fast forward, please don't. But if you want to fast forward, she'll be on about 15 minutes from now. Okay, so keep in mind that. All right, so my numbers last 30 days, they look good. They're like 1148. So as you guys know, he's giving me a lot of crap about it, but I haven't been uploading a lot of videos lately. I'm still like about 140 or so, kind of stalling out. I'm really focusing on Amazon FBA right now. I am still on the forums and still the groups doing things, learning about this. I think my time probably spent more about learning about Amazon Influencer, and I think Jim Ed is sort of the guy that's really doing the hustle and getting videos up. So it's kind of two perspectives for sure. No excuses. I'm just telling you, this is where I am this is where I am right now. Just been really, really busy with other stuff. Last 7 days, $205. And then yesterday, 46 cents. So that was a little alarming, but this past week has been absolutely terrible. But regardless, I'm still going to hit over 1K this month. So it's really weird because I've had a couple really good days, but it's like with 4 sales or something. So 4 sales, $75. So it's not making me feel good. I'd much rather have 30 sales that are like $75, right? Versus a few sales that I happen to get lucky and sell some high price items. I'm not complaining. It's just, it leads to these days where you have $75 of sales or you have 46 cents of sales. You got two.
Yeah. So my numbers have also been way down.
Yeah.
They were down on the last podcast. This one hasn't really been any better. I will say, like, I haven't had a day where I've had under $50 in a really long time, but I've had it this week. I had a $9 day this week, and it was like, wow. The wife and I are kind of talking. She helps me a lot with the shooting of the video. She goes, wow, it really wouldn't be worth all the work we do if we got $9 very often. I was like, I totally agree.
And you have
But anyway,
500. I'm sorry to interrupt. You have 500 videos up or so.
557.
557. You continue to
Yeah.
grow, continue to hustle. Good job there, man.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Oh, and little comment back about what you were saying about, I get it, man. Thank you. I appreciate what you do for everybody. Andrew does most all of the behind the scenes work. He does the prep for the podcast. He pretty much does everything. I pretty much just show up, say a few things, and I'm the eye candy talent, if you will. Golly, I know. Sorry, guys. This is all you get. But
if this is eye candy, man, I'm really sorry.
I know. Yeah, probably would be a better terminology for that. But
hey, Jim, I just wanted to let you know that the percentage of watching our versus just listening to it is it's like 5% watch it. So I don't know if it's like faces for radio or people just like to digest our podcast audio. I'm gonna hope.
Well, it is a podcast, so yeah, and it sounds like less than one person is watching somehow. Less than one person is watching. $80 yesterday. So I got a little bit of a bounce back last couple of days. I think I had 140 something the day before. So 80 yesterday. That's, a lot better than 9. I want to have a baseline of about 150. So it's still not really where I want it to be.
Yeah.
Last 7 days is 509. Again, not great. I want a 7-day average of around 1,000 to really 1,500, but this is where we're at. Last 30 days, I've got $4,084. So yeah, that sounds good because the earlier part of the last 30 days wasn't bad, but the last week to 2 weeks have been not good.
Are you able to pull your September numbers? It's gonna be pretty close to that, but can you pull that real quick, or you're not in a place you could do that?
Yeah, do it.
I'm just really curious because mine, I'm below 1K right now, but we've got 3 more days left. What, 4 more days left? 930. No, there's 3 more days left for the end of the month. So
I'm at 35,
okay.
28.
All right. So you probably won't hit 4,000, but you'll get pretty close to it. And guys, it's like I know you want to talk about yours. Maybe we can just this is important. We're talking about this during lunch today. That's part of your deal. Never mind. This is part of your thing. This is the talk about your side hustle story, because that's what we want to talk about as far as like what's happening with these numbers right now. Your story is a good illustration of the way things go with side hustles. So
exactly. So as you all may remember, I do some other side hustles. One of them, some painting stuff. So I do some painting of mailboxes. These are higher end mailboxes. I really should throw a picture up, but nobody's watching anyway, so I guess it don't matter. But these have typically 5 different colors on them, quite a bit of work. I talked to the customer. He needed kind of a deal because his pool guy hit it, and his pool guy was paying for this out of his pocket. He didn't want the company to know. And, I kind of get it. This guy's working. It probably is going to take him, 2 working days to pay for this mailbox.
Yeah.
So I said, look, I've got a mailbox at home. I'll do it for $300. Well, little did I know there was a little defect in the mailbox, and I won't get into the details on it, but it really didn't affect anything. And as a matter of fact, I've probably done well over 100 mailboxes, and I would say that less than 2 out of 100 would have caught the defect in the first place. It was out of sight, out of mind, not going to be a problem. But this customer was one of the unique customers, and he got out there with a magnifying glass and found some stuff he didn't like and brought it to my attention. And, we had to talk it through. He asked for a discount, and I had kind of done it such of a sharp price. I did it for less than I should have. I should have done it for about 500. I did it for 300. And now at this point, to order him a new mailbox to fix this defect, it would have cost me about $250 to get the mailbox, and then I would have had to done some work on it. I would have definitely been in the hole. I was about to get in trouble for being a nice guy. So, but I get it, and I told the guys, like, look, man, I really don't have any room left in this for what I'm charging you. I could knock $25 off. He talked me into 50. I knocked 50 off. We're moving on. Everything's cool. I didn't lose money on the deal or anything like that. But, you know, side hustles can be a lot like your day job. You know, everybody that works a 9 to 5 or reports to somebody, typically there's things that's like, hey, we want it done a little more this way or a little more like that. It's the same thing when you're a business owner or a side hustle owner, which is sort of like a business owner. You end up doing things that you have to make people happy.
Right.
And, that's just part of it. And, this Amazon thing where I have a $9 day when I'm looking at, I really want to be having $150 days. I feel like that's where I should be at 550 plus videos, because I've seen that with $200, with 200 videos, I have seen a trend of where I'm hitting 150 about every day. Now, some of my seasonal stuff has dropped off, so that's part of it. But I felt like going from 200 to 550 that I could keep and maintain $150 day floor or average, and I haven't. Okay. But that's kind of like still to me a lot better than having to say, hey, Mr. Customer, I'm going to discount this, or hey, boss, sorry, I didn't get that in the way you wanted, or I didn't get that into you on time. I don't have all of those pressures involved with all of that. So, while you do have those things of going, wow, I'm glad I didn't quit my job. I made $9 yesterday. That's not going to pay the bills.
Yeah.
That those are the ups and downs and some of the back and forth you deal with Amazon. But there's just so many positives with it. Yes. Do I want to make 5,000 to 5,500 a month? Yeah, that's my goal. That's what I'm striving toward. I'm going to make $3,500 a month or this month. Is that going to be good? Or 4,000 maybe even? Yes, that's going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm with you. So when you have a couple of things, when you have this is an affiliate program. The beautiful thing about affiliate programs is you don't have to do any customer service. You don't have to do you have to do selling per se if it's, if you have an article that's promoting something. But in this case, Amazon's doing the selling, right? You just do a video. You're doing a video, good video, but it's a softball, right? It's what do you call it? It's just like, it's an easy pitch to hit, because Amazon's basically saying, okay, you're on this listing. Our conversion rates are so high. Just have a video up there. They watch a video. They're already about ready to buy. You need to give them a reason not to buy, basically, with your video. So if your video is at least showing a couple of features that are a little bit additional than what they've seen in the listing, man, they're in, right? So the conversion rates are so high. I sell some stuff, obviously a lot of stuff on Amazon, and my conversion rate is absolutely amazing. But it's Amazon. It's because Amazon's so strong. It's 20%, 25% conversion rates when people enter on your product listing. On Shopify, something like that, you're lucky if you get 1 or 2% conversion rate when someone go to your page. So Amazon has it figured out. So that's great. And then when people bicker and complain, say, oh my gosh, it's like commissions are going down. Try doing, throw your 500 videos on YouTube and see what happens. Your own social media. Most people will probably, I've heard people say, I make $50 to $100 a month max when you do it that way. Okay, great. So you'll be lucky to make $100 a month if you put your videos on another social media. Okay, that's just the way it's going to work. So Amazon is generally going to give you a lot better than $100 a month if you have 5,000 videos. In fact, I'm making 10 times that with 100 videos. So 500
videos you meant, right? You said 5,000.
Yeah, 500 videos. Yeah. So put 500 videos in social media. Good luck getting $5,000, $4,000, even $1,000, right? So, okay, our guest is here. So we're going to go ahead and, unless you have anything else, we can talk to Jessica.
Now let's bring her in.
Yeah, good stuff. Let's bring in Jessica.
So minor celebrity here with us today, Jessica. Probably D-list, but hey, you're a couple letters ahead of us, so we're glad to have you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah, happy to be here.
Okay, cool. So we are, our podcast is mostly about Amazon influencer, right? So as you probably know, so we're talking about that tonight mostly. But before we get into those questions, we just want to get to know you a little better. So tell us about you, who you are, your hobbies, whatever is of interest that you want to talk to us about.
Sure. All right. Well, I'm a wife and a mom. I've been married almost 13 years. I have 3 little kids, 9, 7, and 5, who have currently vacated these premises so we can speak in a normal volume and all those things. Love being home with them. So my husband and I sold real estate together for several years. And then once we started having children, I decided to stay home. And so really this past year has been a big transition because I decided to go back to work and just finding ways to make that work and find other ways to add into our income. And it's always been fun for me, like the influencer thing. Like I've always looked for a creative outlet. So things I love to do, I love to write, I love to entertain, I love to perform. That's why I love video so much, and why Amazon influencer was, something I thought could be a good fit. But really my hobby, like my husband and I always joke about this. I'm like, where did our hobbies go? Did we ever have any? I don't know. Like,
yeah,
raising our kids is kind of where, the big focus is now, obviously. So,
yeah.
So what is your full-time job now?
Well, I went back part-time and I'm staying within the real estate realm. I work for a developer.
Okay.
So yeah, I've got a great gig there. Just kind of started that the first of the year. So the minute I'm done there, I'm full on mom mode, right as the kids get off the bus. And so anything else I'm trying to do, any of my creative pursuits or anything else is, revolving around those. About 25 hours a week I work for him, then my mom life, and then, whatever else we're trying to do.
So is that like just like showing houses that are ready to sell, or what's that look like? You don't know how to
No,
sell.
so that's what, we were doing before. Like my husband and I are both real estate brokers, but for him, just we're building things from the ground up. So just supporting him, whatever projects we're currently working on, whatever he needs. Sometimes it's just maintaining his schedule. Sometimes it's doing a little bit more. It's a smaller company, so I tend to wear a lot of hats in my small amount of time that I am in there a week. But yeah, it's been great so far.
So you're doing it all.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, gotcha.
So what are some of your side hustles that you're working on right now?
Yeah, well, like I said, before when I was home, I was always looking for something that I could put in a minimal amount of time, still be present to my family, So I started a blog and a YouTube channel, and that was really just to entertain. I wasn't like selling a product or anything like that. Over the years, I've done a couple direct sales. I did Rodan and Fields for a while, which is a luxury skincare. And then I had newborn after newborn, and it just wasn't something I could give a lot of time to, or I chose not to. Right now, I do have another direct sales that it's called Green Compass, and we sell CBD, cannabinoid, like hemp wellness products.
Yeah.
And that I give very little time. That's more so just the products are amazing and I'm a proponent. And so I, get a discount and all that. But anyone that's interested, I'll share it with them, but it's not a real big hustle for me. This I wouldn't consider a side hustle, but I'm also a group fitness instructor. So just a couple hours a week, that's something I give time to. So when the Amazon stuff, so like I said, I have a YouTube channel, and we launched one for our real estate business too. And then we kind of just started going a different direction. So that was going to be more of a lead magnet. So again, it was a hustle, but not necessarily, I'm bringing in income directly from that. It would be, okay, could we get leads from it or whatnot, or educating. It was about educating buyers and sellers or things about Houston and things of that nature. So really just now I'm focusing on, in my other time, Amazon influencer. And so my friend Cody, who's good friends with Jim Ed, was like, I think Jessica, he was talking to my husband, they're good friends. And he said, I think this could be a great fit for her. Y'all should look into it. And when I first started my blog several years ago, I was an Amazon affiliate, so I just barely got into that. So it wasn't something I put a lot of time in. It just, like I said, it wasn't something I could really focus on, or I chose to. So I didn't really dive too deep into it. And so when he mentioned Amazon influencer, I was like, whoa, I don't even know what that is. And so now so I'm learning as I go. I mean, hardcore. It's a big learning curve, but I've enjoyed it because it allows me to use, some of my gifts, and I have fun doing it because I like the video aspect. And so I'm just seeing, I want that passive income stream. That's always been our goal, like something I'm willing to put in the work, but I want something to make money for me while I sleep. And I mean, that's the goal.
Oh yeah. So how long have you been a member of Amazon Influencer?
So really just the summer is when Cody told me about it. And like I said, I'm essentially home with my kids. So it was just bonkers, with them being home for summer and going back to work part-time. And so really I think I was accepted in July, and then August is when I really started making more videos, because I really have like one day a week that I can dedicate it. I'm trying to crank out like 3 to 5 on a Friday because I don't work on Fridays. But it was like until the kids were in school, I just couldn't give much, space to that. So I don't remember what you asked me now. Oh, when did
how
I
long have you
start?
been a member? And then, yeah, how long have you been a member? And tell us a little
Right.
bit about the social media platform that you got in with. And then
Sure.
it sounded like it wasn't a big deal for you to get in. Like Jim Ed and I, we got in like no problem. That was back
Yeah.
in July. Like actually, that was February. You were Jim Ed, you were back maybe March or something.
Late February as well.
Yeah, it wasn't
Okay.
difficult back then. So you got in when it started getting more tricky. So tell us about,
Yeah.
did you have trouble getting in, or did you glide right in with the, the first level being you have your social media platform, right? The second level, your 3 videos, you get those accepted, and you can do on-site placement. Just for people who are listening, who aren't familiar with that, there's kind of 2 approval levels. So tell us a little bit about that process, yeah, connecting the social media and then the 3 videos that you did.
Right. So, like I said, I think I applied in July, and I again, I didn't know really the process. I just had a few pointers from Cody, who then got them from Jim Ed, So he just said apply, and I just chose my TikTok. So back in 2020, I joined TikTok, and everybody was joining TikTok then. It was the pandemic, we were all bored, we had nothing to do. And so I organically got a big following, like really quickly. And then I just kind of abandoned it. I don't know why. I think it was a China thing. I don't know. Anyway, but now I'm back. But so I had a big following, and I had several, I even wrote it down. I don't know, 18,000 likes or something. So I knew that would be a good one to try right away. Because so right before I applied, though, I'd been pretty dormant on it. So I put up 3 to 5, 7 videos just to kind of get some likes starting to flow again or whatever. And yeah, I was immediately accepted, and I was like, okay, cool. And then my husband tried, and he was immediately not accepted. I was like, oh, maybe it's not as easy as we thought.
Yeah.
It was difficult. It was a little more difficult at that time for sure when y'all were trying to get in.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many followers do you have in your TikTok, or did you have when you applied? Just
TikTok right at 1,500.
Yeah, nice.
And my
18,000 likes. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah, that's solid.
So when Cody got in, he had a TikTok that he'd been using to watch, but he had never posted on, and he nowhere near those numbers, of course, being brand new. So those are strong numbers. That's no wonder you got right in.
Yeah.
Well, I thought so, but like I said, I didn't know if they would count that because it was kind of this dormant activity, or if I needed to show like, okay, she's kind of back in liking, producing, creating content or whatever. So, but yeah, I know like Cody came from scratch, and he was accepted fairly quickly. So I don't know that it matters how many likes and the followers. I'm sure it didn't hurt in my case for this one, but like I don't have near that amount of followers on my Instagram. And so I don't know if I had used my Instagram, if I would have got accepted right away. I really don't know.
It seems like with TikTok, you can get in with a lot fewer followers. And I think Cody had maybe a couple hundred. Like with Facebook, you can't get in if you have less than 2,000 people who like your page. Yeah. And then Instagram is probably, I got in with like 2,400 when I got in. I think that's, as long as you're over 2,000, you can probably get in. But then there's all sorts of other stuff going on now. Like you can get in the first level, but then they look at your Facebook account, the content on it, and they can say, nah, we don't think you're an influencer, or whatever it is. They don't really tell us, but all we know is there's another more strict level of like when you do that second level, they look at your videos, but they also look at your social media platform again, your account, to see like what it looks like. And so that anyway, but obviously yours look good to them. Tell us about your videos, the first 3 videos that you did.
So again, I was just taking cues from Cody, and he was like, do your first 3 videos, make them simple. I kept them to about a minute, and I didn't buy anything new. I just went through my house and found 3 basic things that I knew I'd bought from Amazon, and some of them, it was a few years ago, so I was making sure they were still available, but real simple. I didn't make it fancy, and it was like a clock, a speaker, and something else, a pillow system. And I just said, here it is. I like this about this. This is good, blah, 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 recommend. And I just uploaded them. And I really didn't understand the process after that. I was accepted right away, but I didn't understand about the unlocking and earning on. I didn't know what that was. All of a sudden, like I said, I had that Amazon Associates account before, the Amazon Affiliates account before. And all of a sudden I had that name showing up, and then I suddenly had a second one, and I was like, what is this? I didn't even know what it was, but it was because I had earned the on video, or the video placement or whatever. So like I said, big learning curve over here, but
you did a great job. Like you did. I mean, Cody go after some good advice, right? So it's
Yeah, you did, for
and then
sure.
and yeah, you didn't overcomplicate things. You just did your thing, did it about a minute or so. Uh,
Yeah,
that's good.
Okay, let me circle back to a couple things
Yeah, go
here
ahead.
sure.
before we get going. So was there a point where you started listening to the podcast at all, or was you just pretty much getting the info through Cody?
I did check out a couple of things. I think he had sent me a link. Well, I know he did. He sent me a link
Yeah.
to y'all's podcast. So I was like, all right, what are these guys all about? And then I really we kind of texted back and forth. And I think he even texted you like, let me ask Jim Ed or whatever. And so it was real basic, just like
Yeah.
the bones, like do it, get in, and then like learn as you go kind of thing.
Well, I remember talking to him, and I've met your husband once. We were
cool.
at a thing, and Cody talks about Chris a fair amount. So, I kind of feel like I at least know Chris, but
Yeah.
when he was telling me about you getting on there, pretty shortly after that, I get some of your TikToks starting to show up in my For You feed on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
And then I look at your name and I'm like, okay, yeah, with your last name, it's a little bit unique. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay, I know who that is. So I can't remember exactly what Cody said, so I'll just ask the question and you can tell us. But I noticed on your TikToks there, and I get this compliment a lot that, hey, I can tell you've been behind the camera some, you've got some experience. I've had a YouTube channel for about 4 years, done quite a bit of videos. Okay. That being said, I watched your videos and I feel like they're way ahead of mine. So what's your background with all of that?
Sure. Well, like I said, after I kind of started a blog when I just had like my third kid, I sat down with a friend and he was like, are you going to try to monetize? And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but tell me more,
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about how to possibly do that or whatever. And he was like, you need to do video. And I, again, was like, I don't know what you mean. Like, what a video about what? Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I think you start a YouTube channel. And so all of my social media handles are the same name, The Grizz His. And so The Grizz His was my blog, started a YouTube channel, The Grizz His. That was my Instagram and my TikTok and everything. So I started just making like funny mom life videos. That's where I am. That's where I live. And so I was like, you know what? This is just for entertainment. I just want to make people laugh and this is fun for me. So, I mean, again, when I look back at my initial stuff, it is painful. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so bad, whether
It is with
lighting
everybody. Yeah.
Yes, of course. But you have to just start. You have to just start.
Yeah.
And I've taken some acting classes too. So I have a little bit of that in my background as well, but I'd never really done video. So it was like learning how to I just shoot on my iPhone, but shoot on my iPhone. I just have an editing app that I use. It's super simple on my phone. So I'm not doing complicated transitions or big effects. I just learned how to cut a video. So even if I went through the whole thing and I made mistakes or I took too long to speak, I would just slice it out, So I would make it
do you use to edit?
Yeah, so I can't even, it's called InShot.
Okay, yeah.
InShot. I was basically looking for the easiest thing to edit because when I first started out at YouTube, my husband was helping me edit on his laptop. I was like, I can produce the content, but I can't do it. I just couldn't handle it all because I didn't know how to do it yet. So he helped me initially and I was like, I can't rely on him to, after work and the kids be like, can you now edit my YouTube video? So I just had to find an easy way to do it. So I used that app. And it's just about so I just kind of had to learn through that experience, like, okay, and when you're filming, you film horizontally, or you're filming in this kind of, think about, do you have depth behind you, or just things that I had to pick up that I watched other people's YouTube channels, or, I just tried to get tight with my editing. So it was more entertaining. And also like, I know how small of an attention span people have.
Right. Yeah.
And that's just my thing. I know when people go to YouTube and sometimes when they go to Amazon, like they'll sit and watch a long video because they're prepared. They know I'm not on TikTok prepared to watch a 10 to 30 second quick thing. Like they know the medium they're going to, they know the platform they're going to. So, and YouTube, people will sit down and be ready for that. But I still am always, I don't know, it's just me, but I'm always in a mindset of like, I got to get their attention. I want to get done. I want to make it funny. I want to be out.
Right.
And so I kind of adopted the same mindset with even the review videos, with Amazon influencer. Cause I'm just like, look, they can click off mine and click to somebody else's like that. Like I got to grab them and try to make it entertaining. But Jim Ed, to your point, I feel like sometimes I'm trying too hard to make it funny and like this production. I'm like, Jessica, just film the thing and get on to the next one, So
I remember watching your TikTok about the reader's glasses.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
that's the one you share with me. Yeah.
I was like, how much time is she spending on these TikToks? I mean, Do you remember that one? Can you tell
Oh,
us? I
yeah.
mean, what do you think? You spit. I mean, it seemed to be
Well,
like there's a lot to it.
well, there is. I mean, like I said, like when we're talking about like when you get in the flow, like when I'm creating characters and I'm having fun and making videos, like I'm in my zone, man. Like, so that's fun for me. So getting that creative spark, like that's a great outlet for me. And so I'm having a good time. It's not effortful. It takes effort, it takes time, but I enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
So if I'm just thinking like my husband bought these readers and now I'm trying them on, I'm like, well, how could I make this just more interesting than just look at this color? Well, look, there's another one. Well, howdy do. There's three. You know, like that wasn't enough for me. So I'm like, well, how can I make it more interesting? Like people want to be entertained. And so it's kind of a fine line for me versus, like you said, like I don't want to spend so much time because now that I've become more adept at editing and putting these together, I can do those kind of things fairly quickly. So it's not a big time suck, but at the same time, like again,
Does take time, yeah.
yeah.
How long did that one take about?
I mean, I don't really know. I don't know if I can quantify it. I think I really don't know. Not long, or it's like I probably had to shoot it and then I had to go deal with the kids. So maybe I edited it, put together a little later. So it's no, I can't say like, hey, start to finish, it was an hour. I mean,
But
sure,
do you think you did like I had to reshoot it like 4 different times or
yeah, maybe a couple because I was, you know, then I at first I grabbed one book and then I was like, oh, I don't want that little kid book. And I grabbed another one because I'm also thinking with some of these ads or some of these review videos, they say like, if you can see if the items are all visible, you know, if I'm reviewing this lipstick and this phone and this Arctic glass or whatever, then I can tag all those images in this review video. So if I can somehow incorporate more products, even though I say I'm only setting out to review one thing, then I feel like that's more bang for my buck. So I think I was trying to incorporate that too. I'm like, okay, well, if I can do the readers, then I can also tag a novel that people can also buy, which is what I was holding in my thumbnail image and whatever else I talked about. I can't remember now. But so I'm trying to think that way too. So even if I might spend a little more time just because I enjoy it and I'm trying to make it more entertaining, I'm like, if I can tag multiple things that do show up on that thumbnail or that people can shop for within that one video, then I feel like that's a multiplier, you know?
yeah,
So
gotcha. Andrew, I'm sorry. I just got a ton of questions. So on the acting, how tell us just quickly about that. I want to know.
Yeah, well, growing up, I did all kinds of sports. I was an athlete and I loved it. And I wanted to do theater, but it always conflicted with my sports schedules and stuff. So I just couldn't do both. So it was always a desire. I've always, whenever I could, whether it was skit comedy in college or fun stuff, like I'm a performer at heart. I love it. And so finally, when I turned 30, like finally, I was like, oh, how can I kind of pursue this? So I started taking classes and I got an agent. So I've done some local work and some voiceover work. And then, you know, kids kind of everything's hit pause. So it's just always been a desire and it's just in my wheelhouse. So it's something I've tried to pursue. And since I can't do all the auditioning stuff like I could when I was younger and no children or less commitments and all that, I'm like, how can I just do this for me now? And hopefully monetize at some point, you know, using some of my skills and some of the things I'm actually interested in, you know.
Definitely shows very polished videos. That's really cool. On the TikTok, are you monetizing that yet?
No, like I said, man, I'm so mad. My husband told me to quit it because of China back in the day. It was fine. It's fine. It was a weird time. We were all confused. It was COVID.
Yeah,
All
I
this
know.
stuff.
Well,
and I was just like, fine,
there.
okay. I don't want them to steal our information.
Yeah.
And now I'm accepting products from all over China.
Now we've all figured out Facebook's already given it to China, so don't.
I know. It's so silly. It was fine. At the time I released it and was like, who cares? I have, you know, these other platforms. But like I said, the growth was so organic then. And it was just like pop, pop, pop. I felt like I could have really built on that momentum then. And then it just like halted, you know? So no, I'm not monetizing anything there. I don't know at what point. I haven't delved too deep into TikTok to know kind of like parameters or how I could get to that point or whatever. Cause you know, I'm sure you've seen, they also have TikTok shop. And I haven't looked into that on that platform. So I'm like, how many platforms can I do all the same videos on? You know, I don't know, but
it sure would be nice if we could figure. Maybe you can teach Andrew and I after you get it going how to possibly do a review and then run it right over to the TikTok and, you know, put that in a shop there too.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
opened a TikTok shop. I just
Oh,
opened
did
one,
you?
so just messing
Yeah.
around with it a little bit. Yeah, I used to do a lot of drop shipping, mostly with
Oh,
Facebook advertising. So now I'm I'm doing a lot of this Amazon resale stuff. But the drop
cool.
shipping, I love that model, and so I've been messing around with a little bit. So watching some videos. I haven't really had much success yet. Just listed a couple products, but it's pretty cool. And it's cool about it is it shows your products to gives your products a lot of exposure, and it's not that hard to go viral. So it's really interesting, and I think it's really interesting to see, could product reviews that you're doing for Amazon, could those sort of translate directly onto that platform? It very well could. So
Yeah, Jessica, one thing
Yeah.
Andrew and we kind of dream about one day. By the way, I'll tell you this in a second. How many videos do you have up?
yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, that was my next question.
And Amazon influencers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only done, I think it was 28 I was looking.
Okay.
So, but I don't know about you guys. So I have 28 videos, or maybe that's total posts, but I also have some of those, the storefront, like the shoppable links.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
image
counts.
posts, those image posts. Yeah.
It counts
Yeah,
those too.
image
Yeah,
posts are just, and I don't think I've found that I've had, I don't know about y'all, if y'all want to speak to that, but I don't think I've had much traction with that just because I'm not putting out those links on my social. I mean, that's what they want you to do, right? Hey, check out my storefront, and posting all these links on Instagram, bring you over to influencer. But I'm mostly trying to focus on, the videos, since Amazon's going to push those out on its
Well, I'll
own.
let Andrew speak to that a little bit, but I'll say, as far as I go, I had a couple things on there. I don't think I have anything on there anymore. I took them off just because, again, kind of like you're saying, I'm not doing that. I'm not pushing that. And I've just had seen so many good results through the video review portion of it. So that's where I am focusing 100% of my Amazon influencer time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because
Okay.
if you don't get into the second level, that's all you can really do, right? You're just promoting, you're having to promote. It's just like glorified Amazon Associates program, right?
Mm.
So the beautiful thing about this is, I mean, yeah, all my revenue and all GymEd's revenue is all, I mean, 99% of it is on their placement, like them putting
Yeah.
our videos on Amazon listings. So that's where we're getting all our money from. So yeah, I was just curious, like, so with your 20 or so, 25 videos, if you wouldn't mind sharing, like, what has been your kind of overall, your revenue so far since you've been.
Hey, but before you do, I was just going to
Yeah.
say earlier, the Andrew and I talk about it sometimes, or we kind of dream and hope, one day I've got 557 videos up, that maybe those videos are going to be able just to mostly just move right over to the other platform, the Walmart
Walmart or
platform,
whatever, yeah.
Target, or
Okay.
Or
man,
TikTok. TikTok, who
Yeah.
knows? Because they have
Yeah.
shops now.
Mhm.
TikTok, it's like, oh, interesting. So that's a whole, yeah. But yeah, it's
Yeah. Gotta
interesting.
learn more about that one. I'm writing it down right now. TikTok shop.
Hey, go ahead and check out the Amazon Influencer HQ, not Side Hustle Heroes HQ.
Yeah.
Andrew
Yeah.
will delete that out for me.
No,
Yeah,
I like
check
to
out the
keep that.
podcast.
Yeah.
that you're
What is
on.
our pod? Wait, it's so funny because I thought we were
Yeah.
joking at first, because all we talk
Yeah.
about is Amazon Influencer. It's like,
I know it.
oh, side hustles, cool. It's a great podcast. It's like they go, okay, episode 1, Amazon Influencer. Episode 2, Amazon Influencer. How about number 17? I'm sure we're talking about something else. Amazon Influencer. That's all we talk about. But that's what we're talking about right now. So we do
Right.
other things, but this is the hot thing right now. And this is what we're trying to help people with, because it is one of the easiest ways I've ever seen to make money. So I mean, there's been some ups and downs with it, but in general, the ability to make $3,000 or $4,000 a month with just uploading videos, it's absolutely staggering for GymEd. So, and I have a little over 100 videos, and I'm making about $1,000 a month. So, and I really have not spent much time at all doing it. So that's kind of like the two spectrums, but we're both invested in learning about this, but GymEd's hustling. He's got 500 and something, and he's making routinely between $3,000 and $5,000 a month, probably $3,000 and $4,000 a month lately. So even with some weirdness, I guess, in the market. So Jessica, are you comfortable sharing? I mean, it's okay if you're not, but I would love to just, we have 20 something, and I'm just curious, like, what you're.
Well, I mean, after hearing y'all's numbers, I
I'm
don't know if I
sorry,
could
yeah.
share
Well,
mine. This
But-
rinky dink. Well, no, I mean, it's still been exciting. It's a slow roll, and like I said, I've really just started to hit it. But yeah, so year to date, last, like, I don't know, 6 weeks or whatever, $67.
Okay.
Last 30 days, $44. Last week, this past 7 days, $5. So, I mean, it's really probably been like $1 or so a day. I have a couple products that like a turtle box speaker. It's a $400 speaker. I sold a couple of those and all of a sudden I was like, whoa, why my amount like jumped up $15? I'm like, those are the pops I want to see,
Yeah.
But mostly it's been like $1 to $2 whatever.
Yeah.
But I want to ask y'all too, because, like I said, I've been trying to at least consistently at least do 1 to 3 a week or whatever, like just what I can do.
Yeah.
Are y'all finding that your growth is happening as you upload more, do more, or are you seeing you're starting to see some kind of like compounding, like, okay, no, the one, even if I haven't done any new ones, I'm still seeing that output? What's the story for y'all?
Well, all right, I'll jump in.
You're the one who's really growing a lot, so I think I think you've definitely seen it. But yeah, let you speak to that.
So so Jessica, I got pretty lucky very early on. I needed some products for my pool. It was out of necessity, and I went ahead and reviewed the products, and it went gangbusters. It went gangbusters the whole summer, and it's like one product I probably made $6,000 or so over the summer on. Okay,
wow.
One
and then I had
product.
well, let's keep it vague, okay?
What? I'm not gonna say what it is. I just said one
tell
product.
Cody.
That's crazy.
Cody, tell Chris, and Chris can tell you off the air.
Yeah.
So, and then I had some other pool products. Gosh, Jessica, one week I had pool products as my top 7 items, and I had made $3,300 in 1 week. And I was like, oh man. So
quit my day job. Why you wanted to quit?
Yeah. Oh, dude, we were talking. I was like, and then this
week, here we go.
So like that week, I'm having $480 day. I had like my biggest day of like $600, and nothing's under $350. I'm like, man, I am wasting my time at work.
Yeah.
So, but then reality set in the next week. Like the one accessory had dropped off, and I'm back to about $100 a day, which still's not bad.
Amazing, yeah.
So I'm about 200 items at this point. So I'm like, well, I just have to get to 500 items, and then it's going to level out. And I have seen some of that, but Amazon's definitely messing with some stuff right now. So you're seeing bad numbers. I'm seeing bad numbers. Like I was telling earlier on the podcast, I haven't had a day under $50 in a long time. And I had a $9 day the other day. So, what I'm thinking is the more videos you do. So if we're just doing videos and we're putting them up on YouTube or we're putting them up on TikTok, if I do 100 videos, I may have 1 or 2 that go viral. If I do 100 reviews, I may have 1 or 2 that do great. So, you saw an item already that's kind of like, oh, wow, that's nice. Well, what you'll find is you're going to get into something that you're interested in your niche, and you'll put it on there, and it will do great. And you'll be like, okay, I need to find something else along those lines that's also going to do good. And then you start going, oh, I see this in the seasons. This is seasonal. So my pool stuff obviously slowed way down now. But, what's coming up? Christmas is coming up. What's right after Christmas? It's workout time. And look, you are in the fitness category already. You've got access to probably all kinds of equipment that are on Amazon. So I would make sure that you don't miss anything. And I'll tell you something too, for people who are in your shoes, that you've got 20, 30, 40 videos, you are thinking, you are probably thinking, most people are thinking, I've done most everything. I've reviewed everything that's in my house.
Yeah.
I bet you haven't reviewed that ceiling fan behind you.
No, there's plenty of yet to do here.
It's everywhere. And the more you do it, the more you realize it is everywhere. There's all kinds of items that you can look around and go, I don't know why I haven't reviewed that yet.
Yeah.
And one piece of advice that I would give to you, because you've got a very strong background and you do really high quality videos, is probably speed up the process. A lot of my videos I will do, my wife helps me with it. She holds the gimbal, and our goal is to, like, if I mess it up a little bit, just erase it. I'll do it again. We do it again. We get it in one take. We're not doing B-roll business that we're editing in and this and then this. We're not doing any of that side-to-side stuff. Nothing's wrong with that. It makes for great videos. But just try to get to the point and move on and get to the next one. So my goal a lot of times on the weekends, if I have a lot of product that comes in from China, and they have some specific things that they want. And one of the things they want is me in the video. So it helps if I've got somebody holding the camera. But I want to try to get into less things like this camera that I have to wire in physically up on the post, that takes a while, or installation of a ceiling fan. I just got it out in front of me. I'm showing it. I show how it works for a little bit. 2 minutes later, we've moved on. We're doing the next one.
Right. Yeah.
And then later on, I'm going from my phone into the Amazon app, hitting create and uploading direct from the phone. I'm not even taking it onto the computer, doing any edits on it. It's just going up. So that's the advice I'd have to people that's just starting out. That's the fastest way to kind of get. And if you're really smooth about it, when you get finished taking the video, your camera person, as my younger son says, what's he call it? Cameraing or something goofy. Whoever's doing the cameraing, they need to also get a photo of it for the thumbnail. And then you are in business just right off your camera roll so much faster. So,
and I can't believe you haven't mentioned this, Jim, and this is what he's been pounding on for the longest time.
No, don't tell it. Don't tell it. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
It's start with, and the more I think about this, is those higher price items. Those are the things that I got most excited about, because and the irony is, I'm just thinking about this now, Jim Ed. There's $1,000 item that I reviewed. It's not in my house. The best sellers, the most money I've made are products. A lot of the best money is products that I don't own, that are someone like my father-in-law's house or my sister-in-law's house. She has a mini split, right? Reviewed that. That's been a great money maker. Another one where I worked, there's like a microphone, $1,000 microphone, and that's been awesome. So I don't know how expensive products are you reviewing, but Jim had said, like, we had this debate, like, your first 10 products, how many of them should be over $100? I'm like, just do diversity. Do some that are cheap, like maybe $10 products or $50, and then do some that are expensive. But if it's low-hanging fruit and it's a $500 product, grab it, do that review, right? Because that's when you're going to see the commission is $30 on some of those things, $40, $50. That thing you're talking about, Jim Ed, what was the commission for one when you sell one?
A pool product that I was selling a lot of times 3 or so a day was getting $52 a pop.
Oh man!
But $50 of commission per one.
Yeah, so 300 and I get about $358 for 3 of those selling in one day, and then you pepper in a few more items. That's a $200 day.
So that's it right there. So that's the thing, that if you can do that, if you have access to something, I mean, like Jim Ed, you know people that have some nice products. So I mean, and I've found that that's how you can really scale as well. And then some of the products you're getting from China, those are really high end, more expensive things, over $100. And so we always joke about this gum. I did this gum. It's like, it's packed for like $20. So, you get 20 cents or whatever for this, but it's okay to sprinkle those reviews in there. But man, this thing, when it's over $100 and you get a 4% commission on that, that's nice. I mean, that adds up really quickly and can give you those like $100 days. And then you're like, okay, here we go. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went out of town for Labor Day, and same thing. My friends, they're actually renovating their house, so they were in a rental. And so I just went, and it was like a furnished rental. And I took all this video. I'm like, oh, look at this water filter system or whatever. Yeah. And there's like 1,000 kids in the background, so it was a little more difficult. So I don't know about y'all too, but another tip I'm giving myself, I'll give everybody else, is like, you don't have to have the audio then. You can just take a video, and on this app, you add a voiceover after the fact. So it can be going bonkers behind you, kids screaming, laughing, whatever. Just add in the audio later. And so I've definitely had to do that several times.
I have a link in the show notes for Descript. That's a software I use. Short ad for Descript. So it's a really good one. So I mean, there's a lot of good software out there, but I love it because same thing. I'll just record it, and even if there's sound, I'll have the sound on. When I get back, I just put it in there, get off the sound, get off the transcript, and then just do a voiceover over it. So it makes it so much easier. Especially, good. You gonna say something? Oh yeah. Especially I'm like tell my wife I'm doing a review now, and she's like, whatever. She's still talking. I'm just like, I hear you talking in the background. She's like, I'm on vacation, Andrew. So we're at the lake house, and there's this, we're over this beautiful lake, and so there's all this stuff I was reviewing, and I was just like, I hear your voice in the background constantly. What are you doing? But that's fine. Voiceover, and all taken care of. So there's lots of opportunities. Yeah. So anyway, keep reviewing, keep doing product reviews. I think the cool thing about it is you're already a natural at doing this, and you can do it very quickly. So to me, it's like you already have the quality. You know what good, what goes into a good video. So I mean, the easy part is the hard part is easy for you. It's just a matter of just getting the product reviews done. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, and making some money. Woo! Making money. So yeah, for you, it's like, it sounds like, you got in pretty quickly. You seem to be pretty excited about Amazon influencers. Seems like a good side. You have a lot of side hustles, it sounds like, too. You're really busy. So, but I mean, there's no guilt whatsoever. I mean, I feel guilty too, because I see Jim with 550 videos and I'm stuck at 140 or 130. So, I mean, there's no guilt at all. I'm just like, you see what's possible with this.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was, to answer your question earlier, I was like, I haven't been doing much, and I'm still getting paychecks every month around $1,000. So I'm just like, it shows you I would say I'm not hustling that much on this one because I'm working other stuff. So I lost just for reference, I lost my day job in June. So I've just been like, okay, I got to figure out a way to make money about doing something I've already been doing for a while. Amazon influencer, making $1,000 is not going to be enough. The best way to grow it, I thought, was with Amazon FBA, and it's been doing really well. But I want to continue to spend time doing Amazon influencer, get it to a couple, 2,000-3,000 for sure. So that's my goal. So yeah, for you. So for your goal, what would you like to do with Amazon? Do you want to continue doing it? How much time are you spending now, and how much time would you like to spend? And do you have any goals for where you'd like your revenue, or at least your count of videos done? Where would you like those to go?
Sure. I mean, paying my mortgage would be amazing. And I think, to get where Jim Ed is, like, that would hit the mark, man. So, so I got a few videos to make, but why not?
We made it. Yeah.
It's incredible. It just shows like it can happen, right? You can do it. You can do it. I can do it. Your success shows us we can have the same. So I think that's incredible. That's the goal, man, because that's probably our biggest, hit every month, our mortgage. So if that's covered, then it's gravy, right?
Yeah.
And so really my goal, like I said, I don't work on Fridays. So I'm like Friday morning, whatever, before the kids are back from school, after I've done the couple things, I still have to do life around my house, right? It's not just like anyway. So, but I want to focus on that. Like Friday's going to be my day. I need to knock out at least 3 every week. Maybe I do 3 to 5, but anyways, that's kind of where I'm seeing it. It's still, I think it'll produce fruit. I do know everything is just all about, you got to be consistent and put in the time. Yeah. But this is actually, you put in time and there was immediate fruit. It might've been small fruit, but it was still there. So that's motivating, that keeps you going. So I'm real curious. I was listening to one of the podcasts, and I think you asked the guy you're interviewing, and he was asking you, like, what do we think the shelf life on this is going to be? Or we don't know because it's new, but I don't know. I'm hopeful that it would be, it would be still income producing in a couple of years, right? You just got to stick with it. We'll see. It remains to be seen, but.
Yeah. Well, in the really short term, I am encouraged that Andrew really hasn't had time to add many videos, but he's still, $1,000 a month is no joke. That's, it keeps me motivated that, hey, maybe if I stopped and just decided to watch football on Saturdays and not do anything else, then, it may still keep coming for a long time.
Yeah.
So,
it's a little bit of a grind sometimes, I feel like, with Jim Ed. When all that stuff was just stacking up in your warehouse. But I feel like now I'm like, I look forward to it. I'm just like, man, I just need to carve out more time. I've kind of gotten like, well, I'm too busy with this thing, so I don't have time. But I really do enjoy doing the videos. It's fun because I feel like
it's funny. Like you have.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It's funny. You have Fridays off, so it's like, oh, well, she's got a 3-day weekend every week. There's all kinds of time, but no.
Right.
Fills in everywhere. Andrew's off now. He's off. He just works for himself. No, everything fills up. There's less time now. Yeah.
That's why, I think the time block is so important. Like if I know, hey, I'm going to drop my kids off, I'm going to get my workout in or whatever. And then like 9 to 11, I'm going to, maybe it can't be like that every Friday, but the power of the time block, like committing and doing it. Okay. Or an hour, whatever you can give yourself, at least you're putting it on your calendar, or it doesn't exist,
That's exactly right. Now you were saying too, Jim Ed, about like early on, you said, carve out some, you really want to do this, carve out some time, right? So maybe one day a week, or even we were talking about doing every day, have that 1 hour from 4 to 5 or something when you do that. So it's just like scheduling that time. And then you say, this is what I'm doing, the Amazon influencer. So you find out somehow it's like, well, how was I not doing that before? It's like, I don't know. Maybe you were just doing something else. I don't know. But it's like, it's just, it's amazing how efficient you can be when you're like, well, I have to do Amazon FBA for 7 hours, and then I'm gonna do this for an hour every day. And so in your case too, you blocked off that time, and it's like, man, what was I doing before? It's like, fill that schedule very quickly, and then they're decent things. It's just like, but there's always something that's going to fill our schedule. That's the point. Yeah. So, yeah. What were you going to say, Jim Ed?
Making a list is always good too. I'll have time blocked off. Like my Saturdays are pretty free, and I'll get up pretty early, and then I'll get out here to the shop, and there's like, I've got a 30 by 40 shop, and it's a wreck. But you're looking at the only clean place in the shop almost. But it's like I get over here and I'm doing this. It's like I need a list of things that I need to review. I try to let the wife sleep in a little bit on Saturday. She's holding the camera, but it's like, all right, and I've done better. It's like these are the ones I'm gonna. As soon as she gets out here, we're doing these videos. And you'd be surprised if you're organized. You got a little bit of help. If you and Chris could get together for an hour without the kids, I don't know how that works. Probably don't.
It doesn't.
But right, it don't. But if you had 8 videos in mind, you could be surprised how you could knock out 8 videos in an hour with some help like that.
You just need a tripod, Jim Ed. You don't need your wife. Let her sleep.
I've got
Get a
one.
tripod.
All right, so look, all right, that's so legit, and I have one. I've got all that crap for YouTube, of course, but then I got to walk over, and I know they make the little buttons you can push, but are you sure? Are you sure it's on?
I know it's
they will burn you.
What about Devin? Devin can't do that for you. His son,
like Devin wants to do it, but then when it's time to do it, it's not a good time for him to do it.
No, I understand. But having a cameraman is.
But legit. Because if you hit start and you walk around, now I've got to trim that off. I know it's not hard, but if you don't have to, it's quicker. So.
Yeah. Lucky you, lucky you.
I got 557 videos. So
So
gosh, you ain't lying.
So who has the most swagger? I think between the two of us, Jessica, like
swagger
for myself.
Oh wow! Don't put me on the spot here, guys.
Andrew, don't do it like that. I mean,
I'm just playing. Anyway,
you asked the question and she already knows the answers. She don't feel bad if you don't say
it's like you never say who your favorite is, even if you actually have one. Right?
Well, you do. We know you do.
Yeah. Anyway, we're almost this has been great. So Jessica, it's longer than I thought we were gonna go, but I hope thank you for sticking in there with us.
Thank you.
Almost an hour. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us, tell the audience, tell us?
Shout out to Chris for wrangling the kids for
big time.
They're
probably creeping like down the street at 20 miles an hour, like, let me in. No, I really appreciate y'all asking me on. I was honored, man. And I appreciate y'all's help and the insight, and hopefully let's all just keep going.
Awesome. Well, his honor's all ours. Thank you for being on. We really appreciate it. It's been great.
Great, guys. Thanks a lot. Take care.
And if you're not getting enough of Jim Ed and Andrew, or as I should say, Andrew and Jim Ed on the Side Hustle Heroes HQ podcast, be sure and catch us on, what is it, October the 6th?
The 5th?
The 5th. What time? It's all going to be in the show notes. So check the show notes.
October 5th at 5 o'clock Central Time.
6 o'clock Eastern. So catch us on there, man. Support us. Get on there. Let's get a bunch of people on here checking out the program and seeing what there is to learn. Look forward to it.
Good stuff. All right, Jim Ed, another great podcast, number 19. Looking forward to doing 20 next week.
Woo! We ought to have, man, we should have waited and had Jessica on 20. Man, that was a podcast and a half. That was awesome.
It really was. And so, hey, thank you so much for listening to our podcast, for listening and watching your podcast for those watching. Yeah, looking forward to next week. And yes, have a great day. Again, Side Hustle Heroes HQ, our Facebook group, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
All right, bye-bye.